Okay, let's take a look the homework assignment number 3, and there we have some hands-on in regard to the database. Okay, so question is, here we go, number 2. The sample data is given as follows. About 10 different data set with the first name, last name, student ID, major, GPA, age, and student status. So we try to build a database using Microsoft Access database and the other exercises using Excel. So with the same data set, we're going to do two different applications. That's the whole idea of this exercise. And the main thing we're trying to do out of this data set is right here. What we're trying to do is we're trying to list all ACC students, accounting students for this major using major field. B, we're going to list all accounting students with GPA higher than 3.7. Here we go, majors field, GPA column is right there. So using these two columns, we're going to list those students satisfy the conditions. C, on this one, we'll find the student's major in MIS or ACC major, accounting major. So again, we're going to use a major again to find particular student's major. The last one we're trying to do is we're going to list the students who are not major in accounting. For example, MIS, marketing management, those are not accounting majors. So that's why we're trying to list those students. All right. The question is using, I think it's using Microsoft Access. So assuming you have not used Microsoft Access before, okay, Microsoft Access is part of now Office 365 suites, okay, which is free for all GSW students. So if you go to GSW website, in case you have not installed Office 365 or Office, 2016 or 2019, and assuming you have a Microsoft Access, then you don't have to. So this is only for those students who don't have Microsoft Access installed in their Office suites. Okay, so again, to download this free Office 365 version, you go to this site and click visit photo.office.com. Then because I have already installed, it will give you this, but if you didn't have installed, it will give you installation steps and go through those steps step by step. Then you get to install latest version of Office product and Microsoft Access as well. Okay, and most likely it's going to show it here, Access. If you don't see Microsoft Access application here, you can go to Excel, for example. In Excel, or you go to File, Account, then in the Account option, it will show what products are you subscribed to, because this is Microsoft Office 365 for enterprise. For the GSW, I have all these following Office products are subscribed so that you can use. But anyway, to see what kind of products are available to your account, you're going to click Manage Account right here. Then it'll give you your account in Microsoft Office product. If you click subscriptions, it will list all the application that you are subscribed as a default, most likely. And here, if you go to apps and devices, if you don't see Microsoft Access, this is the Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Notes, A indicates Microsoft Access, P is a project, O Outlook, and Skype, and so forth. If you don't see Microsoft Access here, then you're going to click Install Office, okay, so that you can install Microsoft Access. All right, so that's the step. And we'll go back to assignment number 3. All right, so assuming, well, let's talk about Excel first. So to work on this database in the Access, it's not really database, but data table. So you're going to highlight those data set and back to Excel. All you do is just paste, then it'll paste just like that. Idea is, again, you're going to list depending on the condition we have, right? But we have 4 different conditions. So to work with that, much easier if you had it table inserted. So you go to Insert tab, Table. It is already table. Excel is already table, but you can add specialized tables so that you can work with data much quickly. So go to Insert, click Table, then just highlight it and you click OK. Basically, what it'll do is it'll give you this drop down, what we call filter drop down, okay? The filtering option. So they can filter each field. For example, major, you know, filter only accounting. There you go. So only shows only accounting, right? Same thing. If you want to show other than all major other than accounting, just like that. Okay. You can filter 2 fields at the same time. For example. Okay, so using this filter, you can always take filter out and back to original data, just clear filter, here to clear filter. Then you get what you had before. The filter is just nothing more than temporary manipulation of data. So you don't have to worry about losing data and all that. So that's how you work in Excel. But in Access, so I'm going to open Access. When you start Access, you're going to click blank database right here. Then it'll give you this option. Then you're going to save the database as a particular file name. So I'm going to give you just assignment 3 test. Okay, and make sure you know where you're saving it to. In my case, I'm going to save it to documents, which is good. And now I'm going to click create. All right. As soon as you create your database, it will give you a blank table. Okay, so this is what we call data view. If you go to view toolbar, you have a different view, which is design view. So as soon as you change the view, it will ask you save the table, which is table name, which is one kind of property you're going to have in your database. So just follow the instruction and just table name table 1, that's fine. You're going to click OK. So this is another view of your table. Again, this is design view, the other view, data view. You can go back and forth. Okay. So this is the view. Design view is the view so that you can create the structure of your data. Okay. For example, you want to create a first name, last name, ID, phone number. That's what you're going to decide here. So you decide which field you're going to make, not the actual records. So once you create your, okay, actually let's just create one. name the ID as a first field, first name as a F name, and just made it short, and last name as a L name, and data type short text. There are so many things I need to explain, but just made it short text, okay? Because text can be number and text words in database. So it's much safer work with text rather than number. If you say number, it must be always number. So you cannot use text. So that's the reason uh, you want to go with text rather than number, and so forth. So that's how you're going to create a field name. Then again, you're going to save it. In Access, you click Save, so you don't have to worry about saving in or export in different way. So you just keep saving. Then you'll save it to your database. Okay, and just click Save. Back to the data view. This is the view actually you enter particular record. For example, ID number 1111, first name, last name, and so forth. Okay, so that's why you have two different view, data design view and data view. Right, so that's the basics of creating table in Access. So let's go back to our assignment. You can type it in one by one, but we can always copy and paste in Microsoft products. So I'm going to copy and back to Access and back to our database. I just paste it, asking you paste. Yes. And I think data set is a little bit off because the order of field is not compatible with the design I had. So I'm gonna have to fix it. I think it's much easier to create a new one than just fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna just click create, and so you don't have to do my way. Just create random and then starting all over. Just create a just step follow as I'm doing right now. Okay, now like I said, I copy the data back to Access, and as soon as you open Access, it will give you this. Then you're gonna paste, right? And there you can fix whatever the fields that you need. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to design view so that I can fix the order of fields. We have ID already here in this field, so I'm gonna just delete the one created by self. Actually, Access will give a default ID field, so I'm gonna just delete it because we don't need it. Instead, I'm gonna just bring this ID field to the top. Then I'm gonna make it primary key. So right click on the field and click primary key. Primary key works like index. You need to have a key, primary key. Every table must have a primary key. So we assign primary key to ID field. Why? Because ID is unique. First name, last name, major, they are not unique. Okay, unique meaning that you can have only one instance. So many people have the same first name, right? You have so many people that's the same last name. Major, same thing. GPA, age. But ID, you have only unique ID. You cannot have multiple IDs, right? So that's why you need to have a ID as a primary key. So back to back to data view. So now we have our table in Access, and queries. The question that we had is, first of all, list all accounting major. Anytime you want to manipulate, you want to do something with your table in terms of generating output, most likely you're going to use query. So to do query, you just click Create tab. On the Create tab, look for query. This is queries right here. So you can use query design or query wizard. Either way will work. So I'm going to click query design. And the question was list all accounting majors, right? So in the upper window, you want to list all the table you have. Where'd it go? Okay, you want to show your table. And bottom section, you want to show the query. The result of your query will show right here. Actually, this is design. So from table to design, for example, you want to show all the students with accounting major. So I want to show, for example, the first name, last name, then major. So those fields will be filled in there, right? So question was accounting major, right? So let me see what was the accounting major look like. ACC, right? So I'm gonna go back to query. In criteria, right here, criteria, in major, you wanna enter ACC, which indicates accounting major with a double quotes. And this is the query design. Then once you done, then you just click either run or view. So in different view, this was design view of the query. And if you run right here or change the view, then you'll see the results. The result is 3 students as accounting major, right? Tom, Alan, Jack. Then once you have that, you're gonna save it and ask you the query name 1, or just give us a meaningful query name like accounting major. Accounting majors. Okay, so that's our first query. Second query is to create all or list all accounting major GPA higher than 3.7. Accounting GPA 3.7. So again, go to Create tab, Query, Query Design, accounting major, right? So first name, last name, last name. Repeat it. So just do it one. Major and GPA, right? GPA greater than 3.7. Again, the idea is in criteria, you're gonna just specify the condition. Okay, condition, first condition in the major, ACC, right? Second, we have 2 conditions. This time, another condition is GPA greater than 3.7. So using keyboard greater than 3.7. Okay, so you're gonna find the query satisfying the 2 conditions at the same time. Once you're done, then you just run the query, click run. There you go, two students satisfying the queries, the conditions. Alan and Jack both accounting and GPA greater than 3.7, as you can see. So we're going to save it. This time, ACC with 3.7. Or you can name the query as any way you want, but there we go. I know GPA 3.7. 2 point. Think that letter or the symbol is not allowed. Dot. So, all right. So that was second. Third query is all students who MIS or accounting. So this time we're going to find students major in MIS or accounting, right? So going back to query, so click create tab, query design, bring the table up. Now we're going to show first name, last name, major, right? Major MIS or what was that? Accounting, right? So again, under criteria tab in major, you're going to show ACC with a double quotes, or you can do or at the same line, or you can go to or line, which is right below, which is MIS, right? Oops, it should be uppercase. Right, so this will find those students majoring in accounting or MIS. See how it works. There you go. So as you can see, these are the students with major either MIS or accounting, right? Again, save it. Accounting or MIS, right? So I think you get some idea now. So I'll let you finish rest of it, which is actually the last one. So work with this and see what you get. Again, if you have any questions, let me know.